like
we're shields.
Use the Reinhardt shield to our advantage, but it's obviously different because they are running the triple DPS mirror here.
Yeah, that's right, obviously, and if you want to do that play as well, it makes you kind of vulnerable when you go into the side room into pulse bombs or sort of, you know, Genji's dashing through you. So we won't see that in this map. It's just kind of interesting to see the different approach on this one. winz gets a pick off from vallutaja. Don't see that every day. You can see him chuckling in his seat over there as well. That's going to slow things up for eUnited early.
Yeah, winz is playing on the right house, and he's basically denying the Tracer entry to the right house alone.
Yeah, that's quite stunning. So what you like about sitting on payloads and the like here, winz definitely has a big job to do. Now, this has been spotted out. So Rouge are well aware of the fact that eUnited are looking to try and take this high ground. You can see that Suda's positioned. He actually had a Discord orb on him, so he knew he was visible to the enemy. This way, didn't want to make any moves. He'll be waiting to try and get up behind this play, flank them from behind, and mess them up.
Boombox's right clicks are absolutely insane. A couple of times he's hit winz from across the map and dropped him super weak, but not actually found the pick. Rogue, at the moment though, haven't quite been tested. eUnited found it difficult just to get position to begin with, but now they've engaged.
Yeah, that's right. They're pushing forward, and Rogue are actually trying to get out at the moment. You can see NiCO actually jumping away from the fight because he was so low, but now they come back in. AKM and Soon find two very crucial targets, and sharyk actually was the first Winston to die in this fight. KnOxXx is still up. That's credit to uNKOE and winz. They're really keeping him up on his feet. Now, eUnited are just trying to hold position from the side here, very close to the point. This is a very weird fight.
They managed to find the pick on the winz though, so no sound barrier going to be able to reply. They've kind of taken control of that side of the fight as well. Boombox is trying to hide around the corner there, but AKM with his nanovisor not going to be denied.
Yeah. Back onto the point now, biotic field throw down. Rogue can really set up and use this as a proper outpost here to repel this assault. And they will sit behind the gong, and they probably hear the team kill gong ring out as well. And eUnited, yeah, just weren't really trying to go about that. They got into position, high ground. KnOxXx kind of jumped up on the high ground himself and actually managed to survive that despite taking so much retaliatory damage. And eUnited didn't seem to be able to set up after.
Yeah, because uNKOE is running Ana instead of Zenyatta now. They have more sustain, and the longer the fight is, the more sustain Rogue will get. And the nanovisor in the end just cleaned it up.
That was absolutely crucial as well, because they picked off Boombox when he was about 90%, didn't have his ultimate, and they've done it again. Soon coming in just single-handedly deletes their supports.
Yeah, and you can see winz now as well. This is something worth keeping in mind. He is the guy that helps Rogue get this stagger, that helps him clean up. They don't get to chase for kills and put pressure on eUnited like this if winz is at the speed boosting them forward and making the call to say, let's chase these last few down.
They have a great idea of when they want to use those kind of abilities. Probably because they just practice it all the time. That's the advantage of just having one composition that you really focus on. You know exactly how to alter it to all of these different situations. As you were saying before, they will play triple DPS PvE, triple DPS so much.
uNKOE gets caught out though as well. sharyk went deep and there was no one to defend him. No peel for the Ana this time. NiCO, the Dragon Blade comes out, but he finds nothing with it. He spends the whole time being defensive. eUnited have finally broken through there. It did require the commitment of quite a lot of ultimates, but they managed to make it work for them here. Just under a minute will be remaining in the round before they cap this point.
Yeah, there was a huge pressure for eUnited. They were almost getting held on the first point. Like, they had to use those ultimates to just burst through and manage to, like, be able to fight at least on the second.
You get a lot more time though on Hanamura, 4.5 minutes. They're going to have to be able to attack. winz has made the switch over from Lucio onto the Zen. So Ana Zen defense with NiCO and D.Va for Rogue.
Again, there's obviously always the risk of either of those two getting sort of peppered by this dive as well. So there needs to be pretty darn good peel present. Notice that's why NiCO's probably switching over towards the D.Va now. Recognizing, oh, that's a nice reflect of the body grenade. I don't know if it amounts to much ultimately there as Kruise has got bigger fish to fry, apparently.
It was basically just to save uNFixed. If uNFixed got naded there, I think he would have died.
Yeah, KnOxXx was looking for the dive at top as well. The follow-up, it might have even hit some other players. NiCO demec'd almost instantly. That's how you play into this when you've got the triple DPS.
This is not good. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. This is not good. I mean, winz got picked off really early in that fight by Kruise, and we were just talking about NiCO maybe being the one to protect him a little bit. He was actually up on the high ground trying to engage, and AKM, that's back in your face. It's going to be tough to deal with there. The reflect from Kruise, they're going to make AKM look very, very silly.
They've got loads of ultimates to work with here as well. Sound barrier engage coming out from eUnited. A couple of DPS ults live for them as well. They don't want to engage them too early on, but they could both go. This could be deadly for Rogue. They're just trying to stall. Primal Rage up top. Kruise controlling the high ground as well as AKM was trying to get up there. Very deadly to have your soldier in a high ground position.
This pick is really important. The fact that Kruise doesn't go down there might be very nasty for KnOxXx, but he knew he couldn't leave the safety of his bubble because he also needs to stall. Not only did he miss out on Kruise now, he's very, very low on health and needs a bit of protection from NiCO, but that's what he's doing. Rogue have been very, very good, very diligent in getting back on towards this point and being safe while stopping and keeping the stall going.
That's a really good defense, actually, from Rogue.
Yeah, there is. I think Kruise was a bit trigger happy with his sword. I think he would have been able to get more value out of it. He used the sword on the raging Winston, and then he tried to kill the Solly on the high ground, but then he didn't have any more time left on the sword.
They also did a good job at zoning out Boombox and stopping him from generating his ultimate, because he was sat at about 80%, I think, when they started to engage, and really didn't get it until the fight was over. And I think they were banking on having that support ultimate in the back. That really could have changed.
That happened on the first point too.
Yeah.
When he got picked off by that attack visor.
It's a lot of pressure coming out from Rogue in the right places.
And Boombox obviously is going to be the focus of that for the most part. Now, vallutaja is trying to dictate some positioning from NoxXx there, a bit of harassment, maybe try and pull him out of position, maybe try and force an error from him, but this could be nasty. Soon as on the flank, he's been spotted, but it don't matter. Pulse bomb in. It doesn't seem to have affected anyone. No one really took any damage at all, so I'm not even sure what happened to that one. They all split and got away from it.
He might have got reflected as well. I'm not sure.
Possible. He didn't get anything out of it, though. There's the end result. sharyk falls. Very deep dive coming out from him, and look at that cleave damage from NoxXx, hitting onto all three of those targets in a tiny corridor.
You can't do too much about that either. They were all quite low by the time NoxXx got up there as well. I'm not sure if it was like a recently expired biotic grenade, actually. So they'd be low on health, but not purple, or not being able to heal up there. Because that's a deadly combo for this team, of course. If we see that sick biotic grenade hit by uNKOE, it's so easy for NoxXx to swoop in there and finish his targets off.
Yeah, Rogue is holding pretty unorthodox actually on Hanamura, because they're holding behind the point and no one is basically on the high ground. Then they just jump the tanks on the high ground to contest the high ground and jump down and rotate the heals to them.
They've got great rotation. NoxXx and NiCO have been so good at peeling for each other and making sure that they don't get picked off. NoxXx, they know their limits.
Yeah, and this is annoying for NoxXx, actually. He's kind of out of position now and needs to jump up. It's a sound barrier here as well, and he's looking to try and get uNFixed. uNFixed spinning the whole time running away. Forgetting he had a sound barrier? I'm not really sure. But AKM now is going to turn up the heat to get the damage done. It's going to be attack visor when uNFixed was felled by that one up on the high ground. Again, Boombox just doing Boombox things, but it may just take a little bit more than a Ghetto Blaster to end this round.
They have forced out both support ults here for Rogue, and that was worrying coming into this fight, because eUnited, it kind of looked like they were in the same situation as Gibraltar, where they were just going in again and again, and Rogue didn't even have to use their ultimates to be able to contest, but forced out 4, possibly even 5, but the self-destruct really isn't as important. eUnited have an opportunity to try and come back in here, but only 30 seconds left.
Yeah, uNFixed needs to find a spot to use his ultimate now. NiCO is running D.Va, so getting the D.Va pick here would be crucial.
Yeah. AKM got burst down really low there as well. I'm not sure if that was from Boombox or not. It was from Value. He sticks to the pulse bomb though. It's traded out. winz came to the rescue and avenged his brother, got rid of the tracer off the map. Morte falling down to NiCO was big, and you can see that Soon's quite easily able to tee sharyk away. eUnited realize they don't have enough time. They're going to have to back away after a half push.
Might be able to get back into this one if they've got anybody to try and delay. Vallutaja just getting in the overtime. They need to be in a decent position, but Kruise falling is going to be deadly for them. uNFixed as well, and they're not even going to get anywhere near the point. Hanamura is going to be locked off.
This is tough. This is tough for eUnited. I think Hanamura is, at this tournament, I think it has been finished once by both teams pretty often. So
yeah.
eUnited is in a tough position now.
Yeah, I mean, usually when it comes to, these maps, at least these assault maps between teams like this that run dive, the question is more how many extra rounds will there be instead of how well can they full hold there. So that was pretty devastating. Of course, the two most arbitrarily mobile heroes on the side of eUnited, who I assume were supposed to get back to the point and start overtime, were taken down. But the reality is that after they lost 3 players in that first fight, eUnited actually didn't have the ability to go back and regroup. They actually didn't have enough time. So they made an error in judgment there, but they had to pull out. Well, I mean, they were going to lose the fight, right? So it's like commit everyone to the fight and lose, or pull out 3, come back and try and stall a point, which didn't work either way. So, I mean, they were done with 30 seconds into the round, realistically.
In the beginning, it looked really good for eUnited. The first attack on second, they almost got it because it was a kind of dry push. Both teams didn't have any ultimates, and they just got the pick from NoxXx on the high ground. They couldn't quite heal NoxXx enough, and then it kind of snowballed into the situation where they fight in the point and Rogue retook it. But it was really close, and eUnited could have finished them up there.
Ana Zen defense coming out here for eUnited on the first point, whereas, I mean, Rogue were using this on point B, but decided to go with the Lucio on A. What's the difference in terms of your strategy or what it brings to the table?
This makes Morte really vulnerable to the dive, because you don't have a Lucio to speed or poop the enemy dive, so you need to play really carefully. Obviously, this comp has a lot of damage because you have Zenyatta orbs, and then you have the sustain as well. It's kind of like high-risk composition to run against dive, but it can work.
Yeah, it does indicate a degree of confidence here for Rogue, I'd say, which is maybe not misplaced at this stage. Very, very admirable performance from them so far. But again, I mean, United did a similar thing, bringing that Zenyatta in here. So we'll see what happens with Morte, what it can do. Again, confidence perhaps to bring him here. We'll see if it pays off though. NiCO dashing forward there, just forced to just reflect and step back for a second because uNKOE did go down. Again, Zenyatta, it's risky business trying to get him in on towards these points, and you can see the only pick was Kruise, and Rogue have to get out.
Massive amounts of damage coming in as soon as they go through the choke point. uNKOE the first pick, but they had tried to focus down sharyk immediately there and didn't actually get the damage on him. I think uNFixed was doing a good job of peeling. He was playing around his bubble pretty well. If they find the pick on sharyk, that really opens it up.
I think Rogue got kind of baited. They didn't think they would run Ana Zenyatta, so they thought they could dive sharyk, but they had the Ana health behind him. So that's how United won the first fight.
Well, let's see. Boombox is trying to heal Morte at the moment, but he is actually too busy to realize the fact that NiCO was bearing down on him on a rate of knots. He does fall. Nox also falling early on in the fight, but now with Morte being down, this is where we can see some more pressure being applied. There's going to be none of that healing available really at all, and Soon can hang around on this point and just keep harassing chip damage there. Boombox has to do it pretty much all himself, and it's going to be pretty much impossible. uNFixed gets booped, he gets taken out.
Yeah, Rogue realizes what they need to do. They dive the point instead of the front line, and then the supports tried to heal each other and got baited into a really bad position.
I misspoke as well. Boombox actually died so early on the point that all the healing was done after Morte fell. So that's even worse for Rogue when they are able to pick up those supports and then have someone like Soon who can just keep chipping away over a few seconds. Now, do note, Rogue almost need to pretty much finish this map. They pretty much need to fully take that point. The percentage is 82.5. And that's what eUnited managed to get with that one dive. So ostensibly, that's actually not that bad.
It's not too bad. The silver lining was definitely the amount of cap time that eUnited were able to get. It was part and parcel of the composition that Rogue were running on the defense. But again, they're not running too many tanks themselves, so they're going to be giving up cap time in order to win the fights.
Oh dear, that's not good. Morte was forced off of the ledge and he was down in towards the pit. NiCO was just going to chase him down and finish him off. And now it's a matter of Rogue trying to get a few more picks here and just stay up in the man advantage scenario. They're all quite low on HP, but now they're able to come back in. Primarage is going to come out on the point from sharyk though, but NiCO's going big. Didn't even need the Dragon Blade for those 2 kills. Headshots Boombox and finishes off Kruise, and now he's free to try and make something happen here with the Blade. The Transcendence on the point is going to hamper a lot of that damage coming through, but Rogue is so far ahead. They are light years in front in this fight, and it's going to be pretty easy for them to clean this one up. I even used light years in context correctly while casting. I'm pretty happy with that one, but let's see now. They're halfway capped on this point.
Kruise switching over to the Mei as well, seeing if he can stall things out. That is a really lovely Helix rocket up top as well. Kills off Boombox, who'd switched over to the Soldier, going for the high ground, seeing if he can put more damage in for his team as Morte is on the Zen. eUnited getting chipped off one by one.
Yeah, and Rogue can now start to set up a little bit more. Losing uNKOE might make things a little bit difficult, but winz is still there for the healing, so there is still that healing source. AKM can also have that biotic field available in a pinch, but still, they decide to back away. They're only going to get 33% of this cap.
Yeah, Rogue decided to turn back after losing uNKOE. In general, if you lose your main healer, your Ana or Zenyatta on attack, it usually turns up really badly, and Rogue is just playing it smartly and just backing off.
And now Rogue have the nano boost as well. Well, not yet, but when they build it up, they'll have the nano boost available for them. Going in, seeing if they can force out a couple of ultimates or just take the dry fight. They still have that huge explosive potential.
Pulse Bomb and sharyk there as well. I mean, you need a little bit more extra damage on a winz after a Pulse Bomb to finish him off, so he's actually going to be able to get away and heal up, and that Pulse Bomb didn't amount to much, but it's pressure. It's tempo that Rogue are trying to maintain here. That's the important part. They managed to set up at least, you can see their positioning here. They've got one player, I think, the Tracer out towards the side. The Kruise dashes straight through here as well. He's trying to shut them down. He was doused with a biotic grenade though, and that has forced him back and caused him to fall to Nox.
Speed boosting in as well, putting a huge amount of pressure there over onto uNFixed. Manages to mitigate most of it with Boombox keeping him healthy. They're actually finding it difficult to get onto Boombox and Morte as they're running this Ana Zen composition. Rogue held for the moment, and they're not getting too much cap time either. This is now a decent situation for eUnited. 4 minutes left, so still tons of time to work with, but they've got their ultimates up. They seem to have a system set in place. They're not on the back foot anymore. They can start to play their game.
Yeah, Rogue is really close on 3 ultimates as well. Next fight is gonna probably make or break this map.
eUnited have a huge bank of ultimates saved up themselves here, including both of those support ultimates there. Kruise will have the Dragon Blade ultimately to combine the Nano Boost if that's going to be the direction they want to go in. With uNFixed on the Diva, it's more likely. Biotic Grenade goes up because that's really bad. That's nasty. Morte can even follow up on that with his own damage. Rogue very quickly had to back away. You can see just how much control you can have as Ana from afar by sitting in that back corner and sending those grenades in.
Yeah, Ana Biotic Grenade is really effective because Rogue is not running Diva to block it. So every time you get a good Biotic Grenade on the top, you can just dive there with your tanks and Tracer to follow up the anti-heal, and you're gonna get wrecked there.
This next fight is going to be insane. There are 11 ultimates on the field.
How do you engage with the ults here, though? How does this change what's going through their minds?
It depends what you... most teams probably like start with Lucio ultimate to get into the fight and then try to outplay your opposing like supportive ultimates as well.
Okay, so Rogue, we've been watching this battle for quite some time. It is actually a fight going over in the top part of the map. What we did see in that fight, or what we didn't see, more to the point, is that sharyk actually had his Primal Rage forced out there. So maybe the least consequential ultimate for eUnited was used. And you notice that Rogue went for a complete dry fight there, didn't commit anything. The whole point was to try and draw it out. So I don't know if they're going to be satisfied with only drawing out one ultimate, but they don't really have too much more time to wait.
I think Rogue is trying to bait out the Zenyatta ultimate with like one ultimate and then finish with a Nano Blade or Nano Visor.
And that's going to be absolutely explosive for them as well, because there's no answer from the Genji over on Kruise. eUnited getting pressured back. No support ultimates used so far. Morte hanging on to it. They haven't seen the investment, but here comes the Nano Blade.
That's right. You can see NiCO's there forced to take cover behind the pillar, but the self-destruct doesn't really amount to too much. It did force positioning, but that's about it. The problem is that uNFixed and Kruise went down, and they got off the point where they weren't even on it in the first place. That happens. It happens. And that was also because KnOxXx had pushed so deep in towards that spawn area, made it impossible for Boombox to get